Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you are about to see here. First of all, this video is going to go over our May monthly budget. So we're a week in and it is not too late to do that because I have done things a little bit differently, like I've been doing. I'm really trying to figure that perfect system for myself that works and is also enjoyable. Part of that is the fact that I created my own printables. I really like that, but I'm really contemplating now going into a regular notebook and we'll see how things go. But for now, I'm still in the Happy Planner with the snap-on cover. And I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about our May monthly budget, a different way that I'm going to be paying bills, and how we became able to do that. So when I say different, typically what I did was pay our bills in different sections according to paycheck. So I get paid twice a month. When my husband was working, he got paid 4 times a month, every Friday, and we just paid bills accordingly. But I was paying bills every single week. Then when he got laid off, in the past 4 weeks, he hasn't had unemployment or any income whatsoever. We're still waiting on that to go through. But for the past month, it has just been my paycheck, which is every other week. And again, I'm still dividing our monthly bills amongst those 2 checks. So what I decided to do was take our stimulus money and create kind of a get ahead system. And that's not something that we've ever done before. We don't have a ton of money in our savings. We have used it quite a bit since he was laid off last year and for other odds and ends. So what I'd like to do is create this kind of emergency fund, but for paying bills. And I know that kind of a rule of thumb is everybody says you should have 6 months saved up, 6 months worth of mortgages, rent, bills, expenses, whatever your situation is. And we're nowhere near that. But what I was able to do with the stimulus money was get 1 month ahead. So in doing that, I have decided to pay our bills on the 1st of every month, as long as we can maintain the system and keep it going. So before, as you can see, in April, we had these different incomes coming through. So this was the last pay that he got, including mine. It was just a partial payment. So we were at $20.79 that week. The next week, 0. The next week, my pay, $15.14, and the next week, 0. So I had to plug in our bills according to due dates into these pay dates. So that works okay, and there's nothing wrong with it. But what I've always wanted to do, and I've never been able to do it, is pay everything on the 1st of the month. So there are some things that are a little bit more tricky for that. I am going to be using in this video my Papermate Inkjoy Gel No. 7 pen for all my writing. And lately, oh my gosh, my favorite pen has been a 0.3, and this Muji pen has been just everything when I'm writing it. It just allows me to write so much more neatly. It's almost like it's so fine, it sounds like it's scratching the paper, which I absolutely love. So anyways, that's my favorite pen right now. But we're gonna go back to the Papermate for this purpose. So the number of paydays that we're going to have is 2. However, those 2 paydays are going to be paying June's bills. So what I did with the stimulus money, I took that $2,400 because we were each eligible for it. I put it in a bank account. I mixed it with some leftover money from last time and subsidized it with a little bit of savings, and I paid all of May's bills at once. So week 1 is, let's see, tomorrow is May. That would have been May 1st. Then tomorrow is May 8th. And then after that, I wish I had a calendar. That would have been helpful for me at this juncture. Hold on 1 second. I love these Target calendars. They are so pretty and just, I don't know, I love the gold foiling. For $1, I don't see how you could have done any better. So I always go by Fridays because he and I always would get paid on Fridays. So we have the 1st, the 8th, May 15th, May 22nd, and then May 29th. Now, the reason why I ended up just kind of coming up with my own printables is because I was never able to find a budgeting notebook or system that gave me that 5th week. Now, when you're somebody who gets paid every single Friday, sometimes you have that 5th Friday, and my husband used to. So that's why I came up with this originally, and that's why you see 5 weeks instead of the typical 4. And just as another side note, all of my budgeting printables are 20 cents on Etsy. So I wanted them to be free, but you do have to charge a minimum of 20 cents per item on Etsy. It does cost me money in the long run to sell them that way, because I still pay to list them, and I get charged a portion for the sale amount. But guys, buy them up if you need them, because I wanted to do something during quarantine that could potentially help somebody. So for May 1st, we have 0. For May 8th, we have 1514, that is tomorrow. For May 15th, 0. And for May 22nd, we're gonna have 1514. And for May 29th, we're going to have 0. So I wish this was one of the months where my pay fell on 3 Fridays. That happens twice a year, but it is not. In the meantime, if my husband does end up getting his unemployment through this month, and it is retroactive, I will put it in that account where we're paying those bills, and then we'll be even a little bit further ahead, which is a beautiful thing. So anyways, that's what we did with our stimulus money. So our expenses, I'm not even going to fill this in because I'm not doing it that way right now. I just don't think it's necessary to divide it because we're not dividing it. But what I am going to do is, on the back of this, I'm going to show you all of our bills. So I have tweaked the amounts that we pay and the amounts that are due. You guys have been with me for a while. You know that I like to pay a little bit more, or I budget a little bit more, I should say. I don't pay a little bit more. But I do like to budget a little bit high, just so we're always covered. But I'm going to get right down to the nitty gritty with this. And the reason why I'm being so exact is because I have to pay all at once, and I don't want to pay more than I truly have to. So I should have put what this was first. All right, I just messed that up. All right, so this is going to be mortgage. This is going to be our homeowner's insurance. And then our car lease is going to be, my car lease is going to be $320. And then we have, let's see, gas bill. I'm no longer budgeting quite so high, and I'll tell you the reason for that as well. And then our cell phone. Cell phone went down a little bit. Is going to be $180. And I know that sounds really high, but we have 3 phones on there. And we have AT&T, which I think is really expensive. So we have our electric. And our electric and our gas are going to play off of each other, and I'm going to explain how in a minute. And then we have our car insurance. And student loan. My neighbors are cutting the grass, and it is so loud, even though I have the window shut. As soon as one person on our street cuts the grass, it's like everybody falls like dominoes. Everybody's outside with their lawnmower. It's so funny. Okay, water. And then car lease number 2. Okay, so that is pretty much the totality of our bills. If you guys also have been here for a while, you know that I paid off our credit card debt, and I did get myself a new computer this year, but I went ahead and paid for that as well. So that's why we don't have quite as much in our savings as we used to. So this is everything that we have due every month. And if you guys remember, I used to budget really high for gas and electric. And gas was always higher in the winter because our heat is run by gas, and electric was always higher in the summer because our air conditioning was run by electricity. And so what I decided to do is, instead of budgeting $150 for each, on the off months, they never even came close. And so let's say our gas bill in the height of the summer is probably something like, I don't know, $58, $60, something like that. And our electric bill is, let's say, $140. So I budgeted $100 for this and $100 for this. If I don't have enough to cover electric during that month, I'll take it out of what I budgeted for gas. So in that way, they're constantly going to be playing off each other. And I think I'm always going to be covered with $200 for both. I was budgeting so high for a while, and our utilities were a lot higher, but I'm seeing a lot of change, I guess. Our water bill is going really high, and our gas and electricity is a little bit more conservative, so we'll see. These are numbers that I can always alter and update as I need. So I'm going to write down here total. Now, $90 for water is probably not going to cut it. We had an actual reading recently that was over 100, and I was like, what? But, you know, as somebody commented, we are home all day, every day now, and I'm sure that we are consuming more water just because of that. So I am going to go ahead and add all these up. So I don't know how would be best for you guys, how you'd want to see it. 946. How about like that? Just zoom out just a bit. Okay, so 946 plus 114 plus 320, 100, 180, 100, 140, 95, 220, 90, 341 is 2646. So I'm gonna write that down here, 2646. That's our bills. All right, so let's add up how much I get paid just by myself. So that's 1514 plus 1514 on average. So 3028 minus 2646. Okay. $382 left over. So that right there is higher than our food budget. So we do need my husband's income. As you can see, we need it for the dogs and for gas and for food and miscellaneous money and just expenses in general. So can we live on my income? We probably could, just barely. On the twice a year that it happens that I get that extra third pay, I would have to bank that. It would be really, really slim. But you know, it can be done. And I'm just grateful that I'm still working and that we are making everything happen so far. But that, after a while, that would start to drain us. And so we wouldn't be able to go on forever like that. So we're going to put down here 3028 for total income. And like I said, if his unemployment comes through soon, then that is wonderful. That will help us so much. Total expenses, I'm not even going to write that down. Well, yes, I am. I'm going to write bills, 2646, because that does not equal our entire expenses. We haven't yet accounted for food. We haven't accounted for, like I said, gas for our cars and other things that come up. So what I did want to explain to you is, and this is just a really lengthy explanation because it's the first time I'm doing it this way. This 1514 and this 1514, you may ask yourself, well, why don't you just take everything out of there? This is actually June money now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bank this, not the whole amount, not every single penny, because I do still have, you know, some money in our checking account, but I'm going to bank enough to cover June's bills, which will be $26.46. When June 1st rolls around, I'm going to pay everything. So I'm super excited about that, and I just think, wow, it'll feel so freeing to pay everything on June 1st and then have the rest of the money just to be like, okay, you know what? Now we just take whatever's left and we live on that, not have to worry about like all these due dates and things like that. For the most part, as you guys can tell, our bills are constant, and so they don't really change. Except for those couple utilities. And if I can get us on a budget and it's a reasonable budget, I will go ahead and do that. And then all our bills will be exactly the same every single month, which is amazing. I absolutely love this way of doing it. So for right now, May is completely paid for. May was paid for with our stimulus money, and it was paid for with some extra money we had in the bank, and then we got everything out of the way. So I'm super, super excited about that. Hopefully this is a system that serves us for many months, many years going forward. Like I said, I think it's streamlined, I think it's simple, and it just allows us a lot more freedom during the rest of the month to not worry so much about all these expenses and constantly budgeting. But what I am going to do is I'm going to check in with you guys, tell you how we're doing. I'm also going to be stuffing my cash envelopes again. I'm going to be stuffing sinking funds again. So as soon as he gets his back pay, I will be putting that into this emergency monthly bill paying fund, and also putting some into our sinking funds, and of course covering the rest of our expenses. So I'm really excited about this, like I said, and I don't know, I hope that it made sense to everybody. I know sometimes, you know, I go quickly and, you know, I kind of mess things up a little bit, but I hope this all made sense, and that you are enjoying watching my budgeting videos, because I know it's kind of like the same, but I do like to change things up. I think it keeps it interesting for me, and it keeps things interesting, hopefully, for you guys who are still tuning in. So that is my May monthly income. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy to be a little bit of ahead of the game, and thankfully, because of that stimulus money, we were able to do that. There were so many things I wanted to do with that money, you have no idea, but I was like, you know what, be an adult, just be mature and do the right thing with it, which is what we ended up doing. So yeah, adulting is not always fun, and sometimes it's a little bit hard, but that's okay, we get through it. So all right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you're all doing well, you're staying safe, you're staying healthy, and that everybody is, I don't know, prepping for everything to open back up again and get back into the swing of things. So I will see you guys in my next video. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you did so, and I'll see you next time. Take care.